The sun comes up over these, this is a little island here, and then there's a bigger island over here. And the sun comes up right there this time of the year. This is summer, and it's blazingly hot, and it burns into the house. So, and I'm going to build a pergola. And pergola is just sort of a framework. These are the two posts that'll go out here in the yard, that one on this side, one on that side. Then there'll be frame across, and then a series of lumber that just in an open ceiling. But to begin with, to protect the wood from rot, you got to seal it, and so that's what the job at hand is. And I got I got material, roofing cement that is actually siliconized, with that I'm going to coat the bottoms of, and that's the beginning of the process. So the idea is these are going to go into the ground about 2 feet. 2 feet. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually mark these. I'm going to get tape. Okay. So here's 30 inches. So here's 2 feet. I'm gonna do these up to 30 inches. Look at how the sun, this is a cotton fabric that I covered these old things in, but look at how the sun faded that shit. It's amazing. The sun here is brutal, brutal, brutal. All right. Water is the enemy. You know, I mean, you got to have it to live with, but I'll tell you, water is the enemy. It destroys so much stuff, especially anything that deals with wood. And where water gets into cracks, it creates a problem. But probably most important is down here on the end, where it can seep into the grain and get drawn up. And though I've never tried it, somebody I was talking to told me that I should set these in old motor oil and let whatever would draw up into the grain of the wood to protect to displace any water that might otherwise go in. I only need these things to be 10 feet tall. It's 2 feet into the ground and 8 feet above ground. The plan is 10 feet from the edge of the house, which is right here. This is where one of these posts is going to go, with the broad side facing the water and the narrow side facing the other side of the patio. And then the same thing over here, except these bushes are a little bit overzealous right now. But it's the same thing. 10 feet out is here. So the post will sit here, broadside facing the water, narrow side facing the other side of the patio. These are 2x8s. This will bridge the entire patio between the two verticals. Then these are 2x6s. These will go on top of the 2x8s and go that way against the house. I've got hangers I bought for that'll actually screw into that wall, and these will then fit in there. And then these 2x4s I'm going to split so that there'll be narrow pieces, and those will go crossways across the 2x6. This is my old post hole digger. This one keeps on getting shorter and shorter. I've cut it back I don't know how many times. And when I got it when it was new, the first time I used it, these rivets broke, and I took it to the place where I was working at the time, and they welded it for me here and here. But I've had this thing for a bazillion years. I mean, at least 30 years. And then I bought another set. These are shitty ones too, but whatever. You get what you pay for. But this, you know, if you've got to put in a post, nothing like it. Let's see how far we are. I'd say 20 inches. Huh, pretty close, 22. We want to go another 8 inches. That's it, 30, 30, okay. So that's where we need to be. And this is the better looking of the two posts. This is the one I'm going to put in that one. It's heavier too for some reason. I don't know, it might not be as easily, oof. This thing must weigh about 90 pounds. Oof. Okay. Okay. And there you go. Oh. Now, I was going to backfill these with cement, but because I've covered those with that compound, I don't think I'm going to. So I need a level. And I need a drink and to cool down. I'm going to try to move this as close to the patio as I can, because this is a good This is a good surface to be up against. Alright, and you can see that's just about perfect that way. This is going to be just about perfect this way. Alright, so now we're going to backfill that. This is my tamper. This is a sledgehammer with a handle, but you want to try to, oops, I moved that. You want to try to get that material to get packed. Let's I'm actually a little short. Yeah, that's all right. I'm like 9 foot 10 inches. All right, let's check this again. I'm still good, and I'm still good. No, this is not going to be quite as easy. Any of this stuff, look, see this grass, this is called torpedo grass. It's the worst shit in the world, man. I tell you what, it is just invasive. It climbs up inside stuff. It inundates flower beds. It's the worst, and it's everywhere, and there's no getting rid of it. It spreads by rhizomes, which are like runners underground. And it is the worst. And it's nearly impossible to kill. You can spray it with herbicide, and it just kills that particular thing. But the roots go forever. It's the worst. All right, let's see what we can do here now. That thing does not want to cooperate. All right, let's see here. looks like I got some roots down there from... These bushes are called clusia. They're also called autograph plants or something because they have these leathery leaves that you can also, I guess, grow them as a tree, or maybe there's a different variety, but the leaves last for years and years, and you can actually scribe into them. So people put, you know, CT plus MJ, and it lasts there forever, you know. I mean, that's why. Anyway, they're very tough. They can put up with drought. They can put up with salt water. They grow very dense. Like, if I put these in 3 years ago, I think, to make a screen from the... Mister, hey, what are you doing out here, huh? How'd you get outside? Did I let you out? Did I let you out, or did I leave a door open and you just wandered out, huh? Yeah? Okay. So you've had an adventure.
He went so far as to incite an insurrection.
Now I have to figure out how'd you get out. I've had him since he was a kitten. I'm the patron saint of animals without a home, and he's the last of the ones that I had. I had a dog and 3 cats, all who found me. And the dog became a diabetic at 10 years old, and it cost thousands of dollars to treat. And then, oh my God, with pancreatitis, she became a diabetic, and she took insulin shots twice a day for 3 years, and then had another pancreatitis attack. It cost me another $3,000. But she just couldn't fully recover. She wasn't normal. She was going blind, and I just hated to do it, but for my own sanity, I finally made the decision. It was a sad day. But she's been gone now about 3 years. And then I had one cat who had a stroke. And she got so bad she couldn't walk anymore. She couldn't go to the bathroom by herself. And she just looked at me with those long eyes like, I don't understand. And then I had a profoundly deaf cat who was feral. She showed up on my patio when I was living in Miami. And she didn't hear me coming up behind her, and of course I didn't realize that she was deaf until then. And then, anyway, well, she was not an inside cat, and I had kitty doors where she could go in and out. And she, 22 inches. 22 inches. Another 8 inches. And, I think the coyotes got her. She spent most of her time outside, but she would hide in the bushes. But a hungry coyote will find them. And we have, I live in paradise here. I have all kinds of wildlife. I have a bald eagle that has a nest here someplace. I have osprey around the corner. I have all kinds of wading birds. Like, there's a heron who comes up. He's looking for, whenever he sees people fishing here, he comes by for fish. It's comical. And the guy who comes here, my friend who comes here to fish all the time, says he knows he's been here for at least 10 years. I don't know about that, but he's been here for a while. I've been here 5, and I've seen him many times, so.
So anyway, Abby Normal, she got eaten, I think. She was a predator, but she became prey to some animal. Probably a coyote, I'm thinking. And so there's just my old man and me, and that's it. And he just turned 16. He's mostly healthy. There we go. I'm gonna go one more inch. I got about 29 and a half, 27 over there. Yeah, and 2 or 3 more scoops. Christ, these things are heavy. Oof. I want to face that ugly side out. Oof. Okay. All right. This will be hidden in the trees. That nasty side. Oof. Man, that's heavy. All right. Okay. Oof. Oof. Oh, break time, man. Wow. Good. Good. It's off by an 1/8. All right. Perfect. Perfect. I scraped a little of that coating off of there, but that'll be all right. Oof. Okay. I have a laser that's no good in the sunlight, so I'm going to try to do that now, but so that I can mark where the top of the beams will go, the 2x6s that'll go up from the house out to the beam that I'm going to put up here. The green ones here, that's the 2x8s. That'll go across. Speaking of which, they're not going to hang out there by much. Those are 16 footers. Whoops. Let's see here. All right. This is kind of a homeowner tape, not a real construction tape, but let's see how this goes. Okay, so that's there. Yeah, see, that's like 15 foot 2 inches. Those are 16 footers, so I'm going to have like 4 inches or so off of each side. There's 16 right there, and I got to split that, so I got 182, let's call it, to 192, so that I'm only going to have 5 inches off each side. That's not much. Oh well, whatever. That's the big box stores. That's all they carry is the longest they carry is 16 footers. You can get 20s from special order and from lumber yards, but okay. So let me get my laser. This is my laser. It's really an inside laser. It's not an outside laser, but in the dark it'll work. Inside it works fine in any room, but what it does is it gives you an absolute horizontal, so it's level all the time, and it also gives you vertical, and then you can rotate that. The horizontal will go the full length of a room or all the way around a room, and the vertical will give you wherever you want it. Like if you're going to start tile or wallpaper or anything, it'll give you a perfectly plumb line. So what I'm going to do is that will be the top of the 2x6s, and then I'm going to, as it gets darker, I can turn it around and it should hit the posts over here, so that'll tell me where the tops of the 2x6s will be. So I need to get a black marker. Here is my top line here. This is self-leveling, which is great. And you can, you can extend this using a whatchamacallit, but you can see, you can send it all the way down there. You can send it all the way down there. And if you have one that works on the outside, whoops, oh shit. You have one that works on the outside, they're stronger, much more expensive. And I don't need to get anything like that because I'm not in that business. If I were in the business, I would own one, but whatever. Okay, so I'm going to turn it now. So I'm still here. I'm going to turn it out there. I can't see. Until it gets a little darker, I'm not going to be able to see where that line is. All right, so I can't see. I can't see there either. It's going to be down 2 feet. These were 12 footers. They didn't have they don't sell 10 footers, so these were 12 feet. That's why I put an extra half a foot into the ground also, because I figured, what the heck, I'm just gonna the tops I may use as braces. We'll see how that works out. I don't know.
to keep the thing, the swaying down this way, you know, to keep it from going side to side. I put a 45 or something up. We'll see how that works out. And then, but I can't see that line. So there's other ways of doing it too. I have a water level, which is you put water in the thing, you have a tube that runs one edge to the other. I use that on that dock. That's before I had a laser, and I couldn't use it during the day anyway, to get things lined up to, you know where the shit was. But it looks like it's going to rain too, which is no good. But I guess I'm just going to have to come back when it gets a little darker. I turned the laser back on. Not real dark, but dark enough. And you can see the line up there. That's bouncing around a little bit because the laser is blowing in the wind. But you can see also that it's going to be right here. Whoops. So that's going to be the top of our whatchamacallit, our 2x6s. Okay. So when we set I'll measure down from there, and then our piece that goes across will be like down here, and I'll bolt it in and we'll cut off whatever's above. All right. So the 2x6s are nominally 5.5 or 5 5/8. 5 5/8. We'll call it 5.5. And the 2x8s are 7 3/8. Nominally. 2x4s, it doesn't matter. I'm going to split these anyway, but they're 3.5. So 5 5/8. So this will be the top of the and this will be, whoops, that will be the bottom. Right there. Later I'll come out with a level and I'll kind of pencil in a line over here, but that just gives us an indication. So this is 5 5/8. Whoops. 5 5/8 is here. And, I'm going to actually drop this down an inch or so that there's a pitch this way in case I put anything on top of the 2x6s. It'll tend to go this way, so I need to keep that in mind. But this will be 1 inch, so we're going to do the 1 inch here. Okay. So this gives me, this is the top, like over there. Oh, hold on, I'm sorry. This is the top. This will be the bottom. And this is, that was 2x8s were 7 3/8, I think. So there's the bottom of the. So this is 2x8. So what I can do is put a couple of screws in here and then set the thing in here so that I can have one end held up while I work to the other end, and then screw the thing in. And I'm going to actually run I think I have some 1/2-inch bolts I can run through here to hold that whole thing together. And then there will be one on one side, one on the other, going this way, and the 2x6s will go this way. The bottom here 1 inch lower from that height over there. So now I'm going to repeat this on this other thing. So I've got this actually came down from that to 6.5 or so, 6 5/8. 6 5/8. So that's 5 5/8 plus 1. If you set the screw back as far over here as you can, when you set the actual board on here, that'll be the fulcrum, so that you won't have to reset the screw. So I'm going to set it just here a little low on the line. And it's almost dead straight, which is good. Because there will be, you know, if it's crowned, if it has a little bend to it, you put the crown high, because you know that over the course of time it's going to sag. Now, my recollection, measuring this thing, was that the distance between the outside edges of the post and the difference with the 2x8 was that I'm going to have about 5 inches on each end. So I'm going to try to get that here. This is when it really helps to have a second person, but all right, I gotta go with about 3 inches still. That's 5 inches there. We'll see how that lines up on the other side. You can see though, here, where when I lift this up, the top of this is going to be right where it's supposed to be. It wants to fall. Oh shit. And there's my 5 inches. The problem is that this is high enough where I can't reach it. So I'm going to have to put a screw in over there to hold this thing in place, or it's going to fall. It wants to fall as it is. Alright, it's not going to fall now. It's a little low though. Oh God, that's heavy. Okay. I
can put this anywhere. All right, one up. Oh, fuck. Oh, man. I am no spring chicken. Okay. I found these old bolts were from some piling stuff, and I just held on to them, which went remarkably okay. So these are 5/8. They're pretty hefty. You know, whatever. I'm going to mark and drill. I was going to do 2 of them, and I said, Jesus, that's really overkill because there's not that much involved here. But anyway, so we're going to go caddy corner this way. And caddy corner this way. And of course, I'm going to have to take that screw out. All right. So the plan is, this is the thickness of this plus these 2 beams is 7 inches. So I have a pilot drill that I'll use to poke a small hole through, and that'll go all the way through. And then I have a 5/8 drill, which is not so long. Although, you know something, I think I might have a spade drill. Well, whatever. So that's what I'm going to do. I need to take this screw out and move it over here someplace, or maybe put some more screws in here. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm just lining these up at the intersections. I got the same problem over here because I was going to put 2 of them, with like 1 here and 1 here. These so I got to move this screw. Man, is it hot! Not a breath of air. You can see the flags over there, but the trees and all that stuff, nothing moving. Jesus, it's hot. Oof. Okay. So this is a long drill. I don't even know what size it is. It doesn't really matter, but we're going to use this as a pilot because the old nasty tools that I've got, which would be 5/8, would be 11/16. This one here, oh, shitty drill. You can see it's so short, so I'll drill in from both sides once I have a pilot going all the way through. Okay. It just makes it out the other side. All right. These were rusted up pretty good. I took a wire wheel and cleaned them. And I found 2 nuts that would still go on because there was a bunch of them that wouldn't. These are all hot dip galvanized, which were meant for the sea, so they should last certainly for the rest of my life. And then some. Okay. And I'll just cut the excess off the ends of these things when I get them all snugged up. Eesh. These drills, quite honestly, I mean, it's remarkable. This is a lot of torture I'm putting through to use this drill, but it's working great. You choose platforms based on the battery, but I'm very happy. This is the second set of rigid tools I've had in the last 15 years or more, 20 years. I don't know. There's good brands, Makita, DeWalt, and then there's some lesser brands. Even Ryobi are pretty good tools. I'm surprised. Oof, it's hot. I happened to find 2 old box wrenches, 5/16, which fit these nuts. So, come on. Okay, that ain't going nowhere. Okay, and that's not going anywhere. I don't know what I'll do. I'll come back later with a grinder and just cut off this extra material there. Or maybe I'll just fucking leave it because I can use it as a hanger even to hang stuff on. I don't know. We'll see, but that looks pretty good. So I can't do that shit anymore. Oh my God. Okay. The next step then is to I need to put hangers into the wall on that height. I need to mark the height so that it's level, because this is level, dead nuts level actually. What do I do with my level? There it is. Duh. That's perfect. Just perfect. Perfect. Okay. So that we're done with this stuff. These are such shitty drills. I bought them. I know how to sharpen drills, which is what I did with these, because they came from China, and they had the angles and everything were all wrong. So I sharpened them myself with a grinder. Amazing. I got joist hangers. They're galvanized steel. Oof. And they this is a block house, so they'll screw into the block, and then you set the joist in and put some screws in to hold it in place, and then they will sit on top here. I'll space them out accordingly, and I have twist brackets which will hold those in place, and those will come out to about here, and I'll cut the ends just like I'm going to do the ends over here as well. So I got this is a
reciprocating saw, and we're going to see if I can get this without making a mess of it. Oof. And there you have it. Not perfect, but not bad. All right. Then I'm going to seal this with, I could use that black stuff, but instead I think I'm going to use urethane, polyurethane, which will soak in here. I'll put a couple coats of that on, and that'll take care of that. Okay, so we got one more of these to go. And then, because I have enough of this that, you know, one of the things that we don't have any support to keep the thing from moving side to side this way. I mean, other than, you know, the width of this in the soil, and it's going to be a whole lot of weight on here. So I can maybe put this in here like this. You know, I'll cut it off and make it pretty, you know. But I can put that in at a 45, and that will give us a triangle, which will make it really strong. So maybe this worked out okay. I'm going to put this down there because sure as heck I'll drop it on my head. All right. This one actually, the blade got stuck in down on here a little bit. All right. This is a 2x6 by 12 feet long, which should hang approximately a foot and a half past the that gantry over there. And then what I want to do is use a square to figure out where it's going to come up against the house for the first one, which unfortunately I think this thing is going to have to be moved. Maybe not, it'll be out here somewhere. All right. All right. So that's got to be there. Okay. So here's the center line of the first board. Oof. It's hot. Okay. I'm going to mark this with a pencil. This is that's a carpenter's pencil. They're a lot more robust than a regular pencil, so that's the only reason I'm using that. Is the leads don't break so easily, and that's perfect there. So I'm gonna put a line here, which is easier to remove later, and you can see where it is. It's not quite so obtuse. And I'll go down there. This is either lizard poop or bird poop up here. I don't know.
This might be okay. I might have just, you know, I can always shorten it and put it down here somewhere, but that was something I put in on another project actually. And there we go again. Okay, this is perfect. Okay. There's the line there. This will be up here like this. And then with the bottom edge on that line, and we'll just set the things in there and they'll set over the top here. And then I have the other ones here somewhere. Here they are. These will be put in with so that that board up top will be like that, and you'll put it like this. So you screw into this and you screw into the side of the thing, and that holds it this way and this way from falling over. So far so good. The plan is coming together just the way that it was supposed to, thank goodness. 182.5 minus the 5 inches. All right, so this first mark over here, I used a square from the edge of the that one beam that I laid up here, and that's the center line there. So that's my beginning spot. That's directly over the center of that post there. And then I'm going to, what I've done is I figured that the true length, I had originally thought that these were exactly 16 inches apart, but because of where I set that post over there, I'm actually like 1.5 inches out because I just couldn't get it tight. So I added an extra 1/8 of an inch per center line. So it's actually 16 1/8. It won't hurt anything, but that works out to an even amount. So going from here to there is 16 1/8. Here's my first thing. These will sit like this. And there's my first one there. And there's my second one there. And here's my, whoops, third one. There. Next one is here. This is a hammer drill. What this does is that as it rotates, it also beats like intensely. And in cement, it's critical that you have that. Okay. So a couple of things about that is that this is the drill. This is actually the bit for it. It has carbide at the end of it. Carbide is extremely hard substance. It's actually man-made, and there's a whole thing, the science that goes along with it. But anyway, but it has to. You have to have a carbide bit, and you have to have a hammer drill in order to put screws into concrete. Then these are like Tapcons. They're not the registered trademark Tapcons, but what you do is, this is a 3/16 inch diameter, which is made for. This is a 1/4 inch Tapcon. Concrete anchor, generic name. And what this does is you drill that hole into the cement, and then these threads here bite into the edges of the concrete, and they hold tight. All right, Tapcon was the one who invented this or designed it originally, and their patent apparently has run out, so these are made by somebody else. But here's the difference. I was going to buy some at the store yesterday. You get 25. They're very expensive. I mean, for what they are. You can get 25 of them for $20 at Lowe's, or $19, $18.98. 25 of them. If you buy them if you buy non-name brand, you get 30 of them for $8, $7.99
Plus, they give you a drill to put them in with a carbide bit here, so you can see the bit, and the driver, which is required to go on over the head to drive these in. It's insane, the price. So I said I'm not going to spend 20 bucks on that stuff. Now that's where your Chinese business comes in. So this is the drill driver. Once you get the hole in, you put your bracket in place. Let me see if these yeah, it's going to be a little tight. It'll work, but it'll be a little tight. Okay. So let me just pick a place here. I don't need these to be spread quite so much. All right, let's just pick this one here. So the holes I'm going to do, I'm just going to do the center hole, and that will be the bottom right there. And I'm about level, so I'm going to put one there and one there. Okay. And here we go. I'm not getting any leverage here. Okay, so the reason that this is going in so hard, normally like if it's in a block wall, you're going to break through the web. But this is probably a tie beam which was poured. So this is solid concrete up above with probably some rebar in here in order to support the roof. So this is solid concrete that I'm drilling into. That's why it's going in so tough. All right, and then we take a couple of screws and a driver. That is going nowhere, man. It will hold tight. You could pull on it with a car and it's not coming out of that wall. And here's the other one. Okay, and that is solid. Okay, so then we're going to lay the beams in like that. Put a couple of deck screws in to hold the thing from sliding out, and Bob's your uncle. Okay. I'll do one more and then I'm going to just mark them and do them. All right, they come a little wide. You want them a little wide because you don't want to fight with trying to get the beam in there, you know, but not too wide. I want them fairly close. So we put a couple of there. I have the whatchamacallit over here, oh yeah. Markers here. Okay. Right there.
there. You only need the depth of whatever screw you're putting in there. You never want to hit bottom. That's the problem. And you don't want to put these things in and take them back out a lot either. They don't want, after they bite the initial time, they don't bite as well necessarily the second time. Also, if there's steel in here, sometimes you hit steel. If they put rebar. I don't know if that's the case or not, but that is there, man. A little off, but that's fine. It'll be good. This one will be a little more tricky. Oof. Oof. Okay, and that's that. And this should be low on this side. We designed it that way to be 1 inch low over here. So it should show low. It should show low, I'm hoping. And it does. You can see it shows low. It's 1 inch low over there. Okay, good. Perfect. All the brackets are in. Some of them I didn't squeeze down so much, but anyway, they're all here. There's a wasp trying to make a nest over there somewhere. Those things are a pain in the ass. What I ended up doing, I have of course I was using the regular hammer drill, the battery operated one, but I have a good hammer drill. This is remarkable, and of course it's much stronger than a cordless drill, and it blows holes through cement like butter. So this is what I ended up finishing, at least the last 4 or 5 of those, because man, it's so difficult to get leverage, to put pressure on those things in order to break the wall. But this thing, it doesn't care, it just right through. All right, so the next step is I know where the beginning point is, which is the center of this beam here. So I've got to mark off 16 1/8 for each of the beams, which I'm going to do now. And then I'm going to set all the planks this way into there and set them there. And then I'm going to anchor them with some metal brackets to hold the thing in place. Ugh. It rained in the interim. It rained hard in the interim. And now it's just like a sauna out here. It is so humid. These, incidentally, this is a desert rose. These are remarkable. They're beautiful. They require virtually no maintenance. And you can, right now, I don't have the heart to cut them back, but you can cut these back and they will bloom, they will branch out, and you can make these like tight little bushes, and they're gorgeous, you know, and they love it hot, and they don't like a lot of water, so it's perfect for here, except that during the summer, obviously we got a lot of rain. Okay, so the center is right about, we'll call it right there, and we're going to do 16 1/8. And 16 1/8. An old carpenter told me, you always make it like this, make an arrow. He says that way you're not guessing what your mark is. So even when you just make a mark like this and then go like this to make sure that you know where your thing is or what your thing is. Oh, this one already got a little bow to it. All right. Oh, just tall enough. Holy shit. Okay. You know, if I were smart, I'd get these things right the hell out of my way. But I'm not so smart. Okay. Ouch, 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 ouch. Oh, okay, that's the last one. I'm going to set to make sure these are all in as far as they'll go. We'll put a couple screws in there to hold the things in place. The brackets will be supporting all the weight. Then we'll, because of the marks that I put out here, we'll put those twist brackets in place to hold these from moving and from falling over, at least at this end. And then I got to take these 2x4s and I got to split them. They're all equal as they can be, so I got a little persuader here just to tap them in. You don't want to hit too hard because they'll actually bounce out. I thought I had 1¼ inch screws, but I don't. That's really what I wanted, but these are 1 5/8. A little bit too long, but they'll be okay. And I just need 1 screw in each to hold the things into place. Oof. Come on, baby. Good as snuff. I think it'll be easier to go this way and be right-handed. I happen to not be right-handed. Well, I'm ambidextrous. But for this, my dominant hand is my right. Which way should I do it? Should I do it high like that? Or should I do it middle? I think maybe I'll do it middle. See, those aren't going anywhere. Okay. And we do middle, right? Oh, come on, you son of a gun. Okay. Okay, so all the planks are in place, and then these are the cross pieces, and these all need to be split. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw this down so that I'm not fighting with it, And I'm going to run my circular saw this way. So you grab onto the plate down here at the bottom, and you can see where the center of the cut's going to be, and you use your fingers to guide yourself up the road, so to speak. And it's going to be close to a perfect 50-50. So there we go. See, grab here, use this finger to guide. You can see where the cut is right here. It's going to be in the center of my board. Okay. Now all I gotta do is do that 5 more times. Golly. So there they are. I'm off by, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, whatever. Nobody will ever be the wiser. Put that there. Take this off. Oof. I got all the sound effects. All right, 1 down. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6. Check my plan. I don't know if I'm going to have enough room actually to put those last ones down underneath here. So maybe I'll space them in a little bit closer. Huh. Well, the plan was that these would only go 11 feet, but I'm going to leave them 12 feet. And I do feel rain. All right, let's bring in the power tools. And I had 12 of these, and they were spaced a foot apart. But because I don't think I'm going to be able to get the last 2 in here, I'll space them a little bit closer. What I've done is I calculated the distance from the face of the eaves, the fascia over here to the end of this thing, and I came up with 9.5 inches
and I marked it off, and then I laid these things in so that it looked right. But it turns out that the last one is going to be a little tight, and that's because I was figuring from the end, and not the first one would be in 9.5 inches. So I'm going to shorten that up a little bit. I'm going to mark the other side of these, and then I'm going to slide them in so that they're the right length. They'll match up with this. These are the 16 footers here, and they'll all be sticking out to match this distance here, which is I think 5 inches is what it was. So anyway, but that's the plan. 18, 27, 36, 9 is 45. Let's just do this. Whoop. There's 9, 18, 27. Choosing the right screw, I'll put one at one end and one at the other end, and probably one in the middle, because these things will, spring this way. But since I got about 1.5 inches, these are 2.5 inch screws, so I'll have 1 inch into the cross beams here, and kind of pisses me off. I had a screw caddy. It had all kinds of, over the course of time you collect, leftovers like this, and I had it in the back of my truck, and I stopped in at a Home Depot to run in to get a couple of plumbing fixtures, and I came back out. It was in the back of the truck. You never think people are going to steal from somebody who's doing work or whatever, but it happened. So that disappeared, probably $300 worth of screws, and this double layered thing with all the, I had bits and all kinds of hardware and whatever. But anyway, so I had to buy another one, so I'm starting to restock again, but it's the same deal. Anyway, I put on an apron, and this is great when you're up and about, so I'm going to take these and dump them in here so I have them with me, and we're going to do some screwing. All right, I need to make sure that I got my 5 inches over here. All right, oof, 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 oof. Okay, so, whoops. Here's my 5 inches right there. Is that what I got? No, I've got to have 7 inches. 7 inches, so that'll be 7. And I'm going to have, because of those wiggly cuts that I had, because of the wiggly cuts when I started splitting these things, we're going to have the factory surface down, and I'll screw through this way. I want to make sure that that's 7 inches on the other end. Oof, let me put this here so I don't drop it. Oof. I got 8, so we're going to do it 7.5. Okay, 7.5 it is, and that's what we'll do all the way down. Okay. This reminds me of a million years ago when I was young and ambitious. One of my friends and I bought a rental house. And we built a stairway up the back of the house and out of deck lumber because it was an up and down. It was a house that needed to be separated for 2 apartments. There was already a kitchen upstairs, but and we're building the thing, and I told my friend, "Don't you dare poke me with that drill." I mean, because we were doing this with the thing, and sure enough, doesn't he come off of there and jam that thing through my hand? Oh my God. Anyway. I'm not comfortable. I was going to climb up here on this, but I'm not sure that I'm comfortable with it. Let's see. Fuck. Here we go. Yeah, what the fuck. It's not like I don't have enough structure here to hold me up, man. This is actually enough to hold up a house. 2x6s and all. All right. Come on. Oh, please. 3 more to go and my battery's out. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, well, it is what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. Just these 3. All right, well, it's not going to get fixed by itself. Put these back.
Doesn't matter, I gotta come back up here and fix these in the center someplace anyway. All right. See that yellow plant over there? That's a Mandavilla. They come in two different varieties. There's another one up here someplace. I never expected this one survived the flood. I had a whole bunch of them here, but only two of them survived. This one, which I never expected to, because this was kind of bad. But these will grow. No shit. These will climb. This is a string lattice that you can buy on Amazon for about $5, and I cut it into sections, and I had it all roped off here, but it's all gone now. As a matter of fact, I gave a bunch to my friend because he's got one of these things too. But these things, you get it started around the post, and it will fill in and completely cover that whole the whole pergola, all the stuff up top. I mean, and always blooming in these profuse yellow blooms all the time, all year round. Gorgeous. They also come in various colors. There's I think they come in white. I've had red. I've had. They're not as strong. The yellow are the strongest. Starting to look like something, huh? So I took these out. I didn't film it, but I took these out and cut the shortest one. I put a 45 on it, and then I took the longest one. I put a 45 on that one and cut it to the same length as the shorter one, so that these are going to go like this. Watch me smack myself in the head. So that'll be that, like that. And then I'll screw it in from both sides. And this will, whoops, stop that. Okay. Oof. No leverage. Let me try a little ladder, that'll help. Oof. Oh God, there is not a breath of air out here. Although the flags over there are flying. You see the tree here, nothing. The tree's there, nothing. It just bakes and bakes and bakes. Okay, there we go. So I've got a compass, and I've set it for a 4-inch radius. Ouch! 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 A 4-inch radius, and I marked all of these the off ends here, and we're going to cut these so that they look pretty. And just setting it there. And the same thing over here, which I did on the other end also. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Okay. One on this side, and one on the other side. Well, these are metal blades, which we're not going to be using today. Now, I don't think, you know, I'm still finding stuff that went underwater with the Hurricane Helene. I don't know if the saw did or not. I think this might have been in my truck, which also went underwater. But it was in a toolbox in the back, and I don't know if the water got that high. So we'll see here. It's a metal blade. All right. There we go. There we go. All right, we need a wood blade. There's a nasty blade there. Pretty good shape. I'll try this one. And off we go. Friggin' heavy, and gonna do, I'm gonna cut it in reverse. Ha! Wow, this saw's getting warm. It's like everything else around here, huh? Okay, let's try it this way. Oh, you gotta be kidding. the blade broke within oh, for goodness sakes. Within the last quarter inch. Okay, let's find another blade. Okay, and that, my friends, is it. Everything is together. What I usually do, like raw cuts like that, you take a little sandpaper, take the nasties off of it. You can see how much I'm sweating. Oh my god. But that's it. Everything's screwed together. I got to pick up all the mess. I got to move this table out there, and the chairs over here. I need to build a little, maybe, well, I don't know, I probably have a couple of tables around here. I think I do. Anyway, I'm done. So I'm going to review. I'll have some snapshots and stuff, but that's the way that it looks. And walk down here and look back at it. Oof. Man, I got so much sawdust inside my shirt. I wish those are the longest ones I could get, 16 feet, so that's what it is. And I got to get another plant to go in over here. Yeah, it looks good. Looks real good. All right, so if you learned something and this was of value to you, write me a comment, subscribe. Other than that, I mean, you know, I love to hear from people. It's always good. And like, subscribe, and whatever. So we're good. Peace, love, out.